In this tutorial, we're going to go on a quick tour of the Toonly interface. What you're looking at right now is the preview window. So I'm going to go ahead and close that, and we'll take a look at the main work area. It's broken down into several sections. Along the top, you have a link to your My Videos section, and buttons for save, export, undo and redo, your title, which you can edit, by the way, simply by clicking and typing, your preview button, your zoom in and out tools, and your account tool. Over to the left, this panel contains everything that will be going into your main video area. So you've got your preset scenes, backgrounds, characters, objects, text, and audios. On the right, you have a panel that is collapsible in case you want more workspace for your video. You'll notice that the scenes are stacked vertically, and they're labeled scene 1, 2, and 3. In between each scene is your transition bar, so you can change how you have each scene move from one to another. Like the title, you can edit your scene names. So let's do that. You simply just click in and edit. You'll notice the icons. This one will duplicate your scene, and the trash can will delete it. Confirm to delete. You can also delete your scenes down here by clicking an X on each of the tabs. So whichever one you want to delete, click the X and then confirm to delete. Finally, you can add new scenes right from the panel here by clicking Add New Scene here, or if you go down to the timeline, click right here, Add New Scene. You can move your scenes by clicking on the dots and dragging them into position. You'll notice as I do that, the order down here changes as well. Likewise, you can reorder them by dragging the tabs. And let's delete scene 4. Now, if you go down into the timeline area, you'll notice a few sections. You have your playback controls, then you have rows for your scenes, your music, and voiceover. The timeline itself is measured in 1-second increments. So in this case, I have a 4-second scene. My classroom scene is about 8 seconds. My closing scene is about 6.5 seconds. You can extend the duration of your scenes by dragging different elements to make them longer, or you can shorten them by dragging them the other way and reducing how long they appear. The scene row is stacked of several rows, with each row representing the different assets of the scene. So for example, these 2 green bars represent our characters. The periwinkle bar is our Toonly logo, and then the brown bar is our school background. These are all labeled so you can quickly see which elements they represent. You can also zoom in and out on your timeline. Depending on the length of it, you may want to adjust the view. And you can also collapse the view of your scene in the timeline. If you have a lot of elements, it can get very busy looking down there. And this just simplifies the look a little, makes it a little easier to work with. You can see your music and voiceover a little bit better if you collapse this scene. And that's pretty much it for the Toonly interface tour. In this tutorial, we'll go over working with characters. As you can see, I have a short scene here of an award ceremony, and I'd like to add a character to it. So let's do that. First, let's place the playhead where we'd like the character to appear. I'm thinking at about 1 second in would be nice. Next, let's select a character. Do that by going to the Characters tab and selecting the character that you'd like. I'll take this lady. You just click and drag the character into the scene. As you can see, nothing really has happened yet. There's an empty outline representing her. That's because she has not yet popped into the scene. If I click play, here she comes. By default, each character comes on and then disappears after 2 seconds. You can adjust that by stretching the bar that represents the character to the desired amount of time. I would like her to be a little bit larger in this scene, so I'm going to select her and then click on this green square and drag my mouse until she's the size I like. I think this will be fine, and I'm just going to position her by dragging her right here onto the carpet. At this point, she just pops in and then disappears soon after. What I would like to do is add another action. Rather than just having her on for 2 seconds and then disappearing, we'd like to have her for the entire scene, and we'd like to have her do a few other things than just stand there. So if you click this plus button in the bar, you get some more options, and these are for different types of animations you can have your character do. So I've got the type, which would be if she's angry, clapping, dancing, exercising, flying in, holding a camera, holding a trophy, saying hi, doing yoga, and more. You can also control the in and out effects by selecting them. Right now she's bouncing in and out, but she could also just appear instantly, grow, or alpha, which is basically fading in or fading out. So let's have our character do something. Let's have her clap. And if you take your playhead, you can scrub back, you can see this, or you could just hit play. There she is, she appears, she's clapping, and then she bounces back out. So that's fairly short. Let's do something else. Let's click the plus button, and let's have her do a little dance. So now if we hit play, here she comes, she claps, and she dances, yay! And finally, what would be an award ceremony without an award, right? So let's have her get that trophy. There just so happens to be an animation for that, so let's take it. And now let's see what happens. Here she comes, clapping, dancing, and getting her award. You can adjust the timing of everything by shrinking and expanding the actions as needed. I'm going to have her idle a little less, and let's see, have her dance a little bit more. And then we're just going to drag the whole thing over so it ends down here at the same time the scene ends. In addition to all of the stationary poses, you can also animate your character and have them move. So let's have her run out of the scene real quick. So if I go to my character, click the plus sign, and choose running. You could also choose walking if you prefer. I'm going to choose running. She can run off the scene. I'm going to flip her because I want her to go to the right. So I clicked this button to have her flip. Now, you'll notice when it's highlighted down here, there's two little circle icons down in the bottom. These are called keyframes. Your first keyframe is the beginning position and size. And the second one is the end position or size. So I'm just going to move my character to where I want her to end. And I want her to go completely off the screen. So I'm going to let go over there. So now, if we hit play, you'll see her run across the screen. I'm going to go to Settings. And I'm going to turn off the effect of her bouncing out. So it's going to be instant. Hit play. And off she goes. So in scene 2, let's have her enter here and run across and exit over there. So we're going to start by bringing our character into the scene. Let's take a peek at her settings. We want her running, and let's have her bounce, turn the bounce off so that it's instant in both cases. So she's going to come in instantly and out instantly. Save. And then we want to flip her direction so she's going the appropriate way. And then finally, we want to come down here, give it a little bit of time. So we're going to stretch it. And then we're going to set our keyframes. So she can come in here, that's fine. We want our end keyframe here to be way over here. So let's do that. Let's take a peek. And there she goes, running across the screen. You'll notice she only takes a few steps going across. So there's one more setting we want to adjust here. So if we click on this gear icon, repeat. We want this, let's have it repeat 3 times so her legs keep moving as she goes across the screen. There, that looks better. And off she goes. So now if we preview the entire 2 scenes, you'll see after she gets her award, she's going to run off and then run across the park and then onwards to her home or wherever she's going. That's it for working with characters. In this tutorial, you'll learn how to work with objects. This includes placing objects in the scene, adjusting their size and position, animating the object, and uploading your own custom objects. So let's get started. Here we have an industrial scene with an inspector inspecting something. So let's give her something to inspect. You'll start by clicking on the Objects tab and scrolling through the list of objects until you find what you're looking for. You can also search for an object. In this case, I know I want the fragile box, so I entered fragile, and there it is in the list. Now before I place it into the scene, I'm going to look at where my playhead is in the scene. And right now it's at 7 seconds. I would like the box to appear at about 1 second in. So I'm placing the playhead at the 1 second mark, and now I'm going to drag the box into the scene. And it appears right there as expected. We would like it to last the duration of the scene, so I'm going to drag the bar representing the object all the way to the end of the scene. When you click on the object, you get a menu along the top. It's got your settings, your flip tool, bring forward, bring backwards, and delete. You'll also notice down in the timeline that the bar representing the object is highlighted, and these 2 little keyframe markers appear. And this is really handy because this is how you're going to animate your object. So let's say we want the box to appear here and then travel along the conveyor belt to the end. So what you're going to do is you click on your first keyframe, and that's your starting point for the object. Move it over just slightly. And then if you click on the ending keyframe, it brings the playhead to the very end of the object scene. And what you're going to do is you can either grow or shrink the object depending on the effect you want, or you can move it So now if we view the scene, we should see the box move from here to here. There it is. Toonly allows you to import your own objects as well, which is really handy, especially because it'll allow you to import animated GIFs. You can also import JPEGs and PNG files. So let's start with a basic PNG file, and then we'll import an animated GIF. To do the imports, you go to Objects, click on Upload New Object, and then search your computer for it. I have a palette on the desktop that I'm going to bring in. It preserves the file name. If you don't want the file name, you can type over it, rename it. Click Save and Upload. And there it is. Now, before I place it into my scene, I'm going to drag the playhead to my starting point. And I think I'd like it to start at the very beginning of the scene. Now I'm going to drag it into place. And I'm going to stretch it so that it lasts the entire duration of the scene. So now I have this palette that's going to appear here for 7 seconds. We're going to want to adjust its size and position. So since it's so large, I'm going to drag it down until I can see my upper right corner and adjust it accordingly. So I think that's fine right there. And let's see how the scene looks. Okay, and my box is moving towards the inspector. Now, this would be a great place to put a couple of gears to help the conveyor move. I just so happen to have an animated GIF of a gear, so I'm going to upload it right now using that same exact technique. So I'm going to go to Upload New Object. There it is on my desktop. Open. I think the name is fine. Save and upload. Again, I'm going to place my playhead where I want the gear to appear, and I think the beginning is perfect. Now I'm just going to drag it into place. I'm going to do it twice because we have 2. Now I'm going to go down here and stretch them so they last the entire scene. And then we're going to go ahead and play the scene so that we can see the size and make our adjustments. Okay, so they're quite large, so we're going to shrink them down and then fine-tune the positioning. I'll do the same on this one. Okay, that looks good. Let's play it from the beginning and see how our scene looks. There we go, and our gears are automatically animated all by themselves because we used a GIF. And finally, you can adjust some of the settings here on your objects. So let's go ahead and have the gears appear a little differently than the others. So I'm going to select a gear, and I'm going to click Settings, and you have an in effect and an out effect. Let's have them grow in and shrink out. So I'm going to save. I'm going to do the same to this one. Grow in, shrink out, and save. Go back to the beginning and hit play, and there, they grow in and they start moving. Then at the very end, they're going to just shrink away. That's it for working with objects. In this tutorial, you'll learn how to add transitions between your scenes. Here we have a video with 16 basic scenes in it, and we've put transitions in between each one. I'm going to show you where to do that and how to do that. Over here in the right side panel, you'll see all of your scenes listed. You'll also see the transition bar in between each scene. To add or change a transition, simply click in the bar and select one from the list. Here's a clip with some of the transitions so that you can see how they look. There are more available in Toonly. Slide down, arrows right, collapsing circles, teal circle, two circles, worms. That's it for transitions. Thank you for watching.
Hey, this is Brad Callen, and I'm so excited to show you a demo of our new software called Toonly, which makes it super simple for you to create professional animated explainer videos in just a few short minutes. But before I do that, let me quickly share with you why online business owners and video creators alike absolutely love using explainer videos. For one thing, these videos remind us of our times as a child spent watching Saturday morning cartoons. So there's a sense of nostalgia that comes with cartoon explainers, which not only gives us those warm fuzzies, but it also creates an emotional connection, which is key to getting and keeping attention, something that's only going to get more and more difficult on the internet. Plus, there's tons of stuff you can do with animated explainer videos that you just can't do with other types of videos. Things like making characters run, jump, and fly. You can show planes soaring and make balls bounce. All that motion makes for videos that are super entertaining and much more engaging. And these types of videos are crazy effective. That's why all the big brands choose them for their marketing. Brands like Walmart, Amazon, Google, Facebook, and even YouTube, just to name a few. You can bet that if internet giants like Google, Facebook, and YouTube have used animated explainer videos, it's because these types of videos work amazingly well, which can mean more views, likes, shares, and customers. Animated explainer videos can also be used to sell, explain, or promote virtually anything. They're great for explaining products, telling brand stories, Facebook advertising, social media content, and so much more. The bad news is that video designers typically charge between $5,000 and $35,000 for just 1 minute of video, putting them out of reach for most businesses. And it shouldn't be like that. Not only is Toonly super affordable, but it's really simple to use, even if you have absolutely zero technical or design skills. Let me quickly show you how it works. Once you open up Toonly on a Mac or a PC, you'll click on the button to create a new video. That takes you to the Toonly dashboard, and as you'll see along the left, there are done for you scenes you can drag and drop onto the canvas, different backgrounds you can choose from, tons of characters of various ethnicities, hundreds of cool props, your choice of fonts, and plenty of royalty-free audio tracks to set the mood for your video. Also, you can upload images, fonts, and audios. And you can even select from lots of different animations for your props and characters for the ultimate in customization. So let's go ahead and create a short video now. First, we'll pick the background we want. Then we'll add a character, select what we want it to do. I'm going to choose waving, add a house, a tree, and a fence as our props, resize them, add some text, finally a fancy scene transition, and voila! In just a few short seconds we have Jim introducing himself and telling viewers to contact his company to find the house of their dreams, and then we'll smoothly transition to scene number 2. When you're finished, you can export your video in a variety of sizes, formats, and quality right to your computer. Truly anyone can create a video with Toonly, regardless of your skills or your experience. It's that easy. But should you have questions, we have a super responsive support team, lots of free tutorials, and a growing Facebook group full of Toonies who are ready and waiting to assist you. So if you're ready to create beautiful, engaging, professional animated explainer videos, go ahead and click the button beside this video to grab your copy of Toonly right now. Plus, you have absolutely nothing to lose by trying Toonly because it comes with a full 30-day, 100% money-back guarantee. If you don't love it, just email support@toonly.com and we'll refund every penny. So go ahead and click the button beside this video to get started today. And I can't wait to see all the great videos you create with Toonly.